Welcome back to another Artsy Thursday. Hello, Edgar. Thank you so much for the subscription. Much appreciated. I hope you're doing awesome today, and I hope everybody else is doing well today. Also, we are going to be continuing at... Shut up, Rio. Rio's coming in with my laugh his laugh all the time. It's gonna be your thing, isn't it? I guess that's okay. I guess it's I just guess it's okay. So today we are going to be, I believe, starting up our fire butterfly. Yes, because we completed our air here. Your subscription went bye-bye. Oh, well. I don't think your laugh is going to bring it back, honey. Or maybe it will. I don't know. We'll see. But there's our air butterfly. For anybody who may have missed it, we did a very nice job on that. Got the nice details in there on that. Got the little pretty colorful shards right there from one of the brushes that I've got. So air is absolutely nice and completed. So next, we are going to go to our fire butterfly. So I am super excited for this one because it's going to be nice, bright, vibrant colors, our reds, our oranges. So let's just go ahead and dive right into it, shall we? And let's get this started on our fire butterfly. So I'm going to start with a red. Probably do red, then maybe orange, and then maybe a little more red and into the yellow after that. So I've got that one. I've got my fire butterfly, my fire outline. All right. I think we are actually good to go. Oh, that's a very nice vibrant red. Oh, this is going to be a very pretty butterfly. I am super excited for it. This would also be considered like a butterfly with warm colors. But I'm actually going to throw in... I did this with another little butterfly in that I added some... I added a little bit of blue. Because now sometimes like with a really hot fire, you kind of get that almost like a blue flame in it. Especially when you use like a blowtorch. So sometimes I like to add a little smidgen of blue in with my fires. So I'm gonna see how that does. So, as always, starting in the center and going out with some of my colors here. And there we go. Fire can be any color. Well, I mean, technically, yes. I think for the sake of my elemental butterflies, I'm going to keep it with the red, orange, and the yellows. Then let's go with a kind of like an orange here. Not too much of an orange. There we go. Maybe more of like a reddish orange. Oh, there we go. That'll work. Okay. Undo that, and we're going to add a layer. I always like to add layers underneath. Whoops. What I might even do is just keep a random layer underneath there so I can continue to add on top of it. Fireworks, that's how fireworks works. Fireworks work. I mean, yeah, this is true. Alright. Alright, so... Oh, here we go. Here's a nice orange off of it. So we're just going to... I'm going to probably bring it all the way into the middle here as well to do it underneath. That'll kind of bring out the red a little bit more too if I put it underneath. And don't worry, I'll be probably going back over that red as well. I mean, like, fireworks, I think those are like different chemicals and such, so... I mean, technically it's still, I guess, in a sense, pyrotechnics, which I guess you can consider as fire. Bringing that a little bit more. There we go. I want to push it out just a bit further. Here we go. Boink. There we go. I could probably even be a little bit more generous on these colors as well. I forget how much bigger these butterflies are compared to those that are just on my phone. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Fireworks burn metal. That's how you get the different colors. Yeah. I forget what... Is phosphorus one of them? I thought phosphorus was one of them. There's like 2 or 3 different combinations of those chemicals or the materials that they use for doing the different colors. I remembered at one point, but not anymore. Alright, so let us... I think what I'll probably do is come back over here, go back to this color as well, and I think I'm gonna actually... Maybe I need to bring the size up just a little bit here. Just a little bit more, because I want to bring this up a little bit. Try and bring it up and out just a little bit more. There we go. And then we'll smudge it outward again. Probably need to bring up my size just a bit here on this too. There we go. Let's try and get that pushed up, shall we? There we go. There we go. I want to try and bring it out from the center a little bit further. Try and be a little bit more generous with it. Hi Wolf, how's it going? I hope you are doing well today on this Friday Eve. Or Artsy Thursday, as I like to call it, for my little butterflies that I've been making lately. There we go. Okay, that's a little bit better. I want it to be out further. Alright. Here we go. Now we can bring our orange up and out just a little bit more as well. Here we go. Nice bright butterfly in comparison to my air butterfly and my earth butterfly. There we go. That's much better. So that is what I'm looking for. Cool. I feel as though this one probably needs to be pushed a little bit further since this section of the wing is actually a little bit more... goes down just a little bit further, so I might need to try and just be a little bit more generous with it. Although I don't know how much more orange I have to work with down here. There we go. Slow and steady so I don't make any horrible mistakes. Of course, there's not going to be a whole lot of mistakes to be made on this anyway, so that's okay. Here we go. Pink. Alright. That is looking pretty nice. So now what I want to do is bring another layer underneath. And I'm going to go back with the red. However, I'm going to bring it really nice and dark. Nice and dark red. I think my size actually does need to come up a little bit more with this. Yeah, too much. There we go. That's better. And then we are going to add a nice dark red here. Probably not all the way to the very edge of the wing because I still want my yellow to kind of come in, so that might even be a little too much. Let's undo that real quick and let's try again. There we go. And again, I want to bring it underneath here to kind of fill it in just a little bit. There we go. Here we are. And just kind of follow the curvature of the wing. Again, I don't want it to go all the way to this section right here, because I'm going to smudge it and then bring in my beautiful yellow. So same over here, bringing my dark red up and underneath all of these. Here we go. Leaving just enough space for my yellow to peek through right in here. There we go. Nice, nice. Do all of it. There we go. Very nice. Alright. And then the smudgening. There we go. Again, I want to be a little bit more careful on this one because I don't want it to come up too far towards these little edges here. Especially right there. Here we go. Nice. There we go. Very good, very good. And right about to there. Very nice, very nice. I do like that, so I am going to, let's see, okay. Alright, let's see what kind of a really pretty yellow we can get. I want a nice bright yellow to come up and underneath here. So let's see what this yellow will look like. Here we go. Ah, yes. Perfect. Very, very pretty colors we got going on here. Now, do I want it along this here? Or do I want this to be a different color? No, I think I can bring it over here. Shush, Frio. How many of those points do you have anyway? My feather points. Probably have a whole bunch of them. You're banned from my stream. What a shame I didn't make a stupid joke at that moment. Otherwise that would have been like absolutely perfect. Thanks. And right up into here. Pink. There we go. I'm probably not going to smudge this one simply because I do want it to stay right along this outline here. And then I'll show you what we're going to do with this section here. But for right now, there we go. Oh, how lovely. Well, that is a pretty looking butterfly. Okay. Now then, as my pattern usually goes, I am going to come back over here. And I am going to go a little bit crazy here with, So I'll probably do maybe this blue first. And again, as always, just kind of bear with me here. Why is my, was it opacity of that the whole time on my, that one? Yeah, whatever. Maybe that's why it wasn't covering quite as much as I was expecting. Okay, so first I am going to bring in this right here. I say, bear with me. I think I know what I'm doing. Here we go. There we go. Very nice, very nice. And I think I'm going to add another one. Let's see here. Better than you ever could? Well, I mean, I guess it just takes a bit of practice, and honestly, I'm still not completely familiar with this art program called Krita. I'm just kind of working with it. Work with what I've got here. I'm sure there's still a lot of things that I just don't know about Krita, so anybody out there who knows a whole bunch about Krita and knows all the ins and outs can definitely use all of those neat little tricks and tips and everything to to do whatever kind of, you know, pretty colored butterfly you want. Now what I'm going to do also, in addition with that beautiful blue, is I'm going to add another one underneath. There we go. That makes one of us and knows what we're doing. I kind of do. And I'm going to bring it just underneath this little blue right here, and then I'm going to try and smudge it up into itself. or into the blue on top. Here we go. See, that's the effect that I actually got on my high paint program as well. So that is what I'm going for here. Oh, that is very pretty. Almost has like a little purple tinge right here as the blue blends into the red. So I do very much enjoy that. So we're going to do the same thing here. Just kind of bring it up. I'll probably try and push it away a little bit more so more of the red pops up underneath. There we go. To change the lines after I draw them, like alter it a bit. I'm sure there is. I may not have discovered it myself, but that's where YouTube comes in and like the tricks and tips. Here we go. Very pretty, very pretty. Nice. I wish you knew what the name of that was. Yeah. But I change the lines after you draw them, like after it, like on high paint, is it called the gosh darn it, like changing the whole color layer, changing the layer's color. I think I've done that many times myself. Alright, and then what we're also going to add is a nice yellow streak right in here. Pink. Whoop, whoop. And bringing this one out just a little bit. Changing the lines. Let me change the type of pin, the color, and arrange it. Oh man. Yeah, that one you might have to possibly find up some Krita tutorials. I'm sure there would be something like that. Okay, so I think I'm also going to do a little bit of blending as well. Just to kind of, well, maybe not that much. It's the only problem with the strength is so much. There we go. I kind of know what you're talking about. It would probably help to, like next time we're out and about and we're hanging, you'll probably have to show me. And then maybe I can help you look on Krita. Oh, I can change the size of it just by pushing, what is that, shift? Well, that's nice. Huh. Good to know. Alright. Cool. Alright, so I've got that taken care of. That is a very, very pretty little butterfly. This little bit over here is actually bugging me. Oops. Here we go. I came out of my outline just a little bit and it was just bugging me to no end. There we go. That is a very beautiful butterfly. I am loving it. So, next I think I am going to... Oh, let's see here. Do I want that underneath everything? I probably would want it underneath, so we're going to go crazy here. And we are going to take black, and we are going to fill in this section here of my butterfly, and we're going to see where this yellow is as well on this outline. So I'm going to have to go in and erase that, but for right now, I just want to come all the way down like this and fill in this sharp little section of the wings. Here we go. Ding, ding, ding. Fill it all in. Boop, boop, boop. And I'll show you what I'll do with this little piece. Since I already have yellow right here, I may do something a little bit different than what I did on my other one. Okay, I have got to do this. Bink. Okay, let's shrink it a little bit. Haha. That's gonna be so much nicer. I just gotta remember which way is shrinking it and which way is growing it. There we go. I might even have to come in a little bit because I see some little white spots with this yellow also. So I think I'm gonna have to do this. Whoops. And come in with this yellow and fill it in just a little bit more here. There we go. Pink. And pink and pink. There we go. Nice. Okay. Make sure it's all erased because those itty bitty little pixels of the color fading in kind of bug me. Here we go. Whoops. Not too much. Okay. Now head back on over here to my black and do some tiny little finishing touches. Alright, cool. Very good, very good. I'll have to erase that one there too, so let's do that real quick. There we go. Cool. And of course I'll have to erase it, excuse me, from this little section here. Whoops. I shrunk it too much. There we go. Yeah, why not? I'll just do this now. That way I don't have to do it when I start bringing my black color in. There we go. And over here. There we go. Very nice, very nice. Okay. Now, back over here, back over to the black color. And let's fill in the rest of this. This way. Here we go. La, da, 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 da. This fire butterfly has gone by quite quickly, hasn't it? The difference between like the earth butterfly, where I had no idea what I was doing and what colors to blend into the fire, which I know exactly what colors I want to use and how to blend them. Water butterfly might be about the same as well, because the water butterfly might be fairly easy. And that's why I didn't want to use a whole bunch of blues on my air butterfly to not encroach on my water. Here we go. I gotta figure out what kind of effects I'm gonna want to give this little butterfly. I mean, I know what kind of effects I'm actually gonna give on these little pieces here, which they'll probably be red, because I think red will show up really nicely, like a bright red on this this dark color here. I would have gone with yellow, but I think I've already expended my yellow limit right underneath it, so there we go. Any movies I'm looking forward to? I've just seen a trailer for the new Mortal Kombat, so that one I am actually super excited for. I've never actually like played all the Mortal Kombat games, but I do greatly enjoy the movies. And anybody who is a fan of it, I encourage you to check out the new trailer that they have for the second one coming in, what is it, October? I think was what it was. But I really enjoy it. I really enjoyed the first one a lot too. There we go. Oh yeah. Oh, that is a very pretty looking butterfly. So now we can kind of look at like the the differences here in the earth, the air, and the fire, like all just side by side. That is very pretty. Okay, so I'm going to want to take my tiny little gel pen. That should be thin enough. And we are going to, goodness, we're going to come on top of that one. And again, I want to go back to my bright red. Maybe this one, but maybe brighten it up a little bit there. Let's see what we got. That should do. How would it look on that? Oh yeah, that looks pretty good, so awesome. All right, and I will show you. Let's see if I've got enough room for this. So what I'm gonna do, I'll probably just do the outline of this and then probably color it in later, but basically just gonna make like little flames that come up along the side. So let me actually adjust it just a little bit more here, and I don't want it encroaching underneath. Okay, I think I can work with that. Here we are. There we go. And these will be colored in as well. So I gotta remember, it's also, there's a tiny itty bitty little spot. The outline here and the outline up above that it's not gonna go over. And so I've got to kind of be careful and not make it like disappear like under here where you can't see it. So I gotta kind of make a note of where the actual outlines are of this whole thing. Like that one there, I could probably do a little bit better. There we go. Okay. And we'll be able to see it really well probably on this bottom wing here. Yeah, there's not a whole lot of area right there to do a flame, so here we go. I wonder if I can bring this one up just a little bit. There it goes. Got it. Nice. Okay. And then, like for this one, for example, I could probably do like a really nice one here. There we go. And then I'll color it in there. Sweet. There we go. Whoops. Did it again. Went a little too far underneath. There we go. Pink. Okay. That's going to be a nice one right there. Oops. And then one more. Cool. All right. So now we have got that really nice pattern along the edge here. So now to color it in, for that I'm probably going to bring up the size, probably not that much. There we go. And I don't have to worry too much about underneath because the outline will actually stop the color from going too far underneath, so here we go. I could probably maybe add like a few more like little details here and there. I could probably even add like different little colors to it too, like give it a tinge of orange here and there or a tinge of yellow. Just to make it, well, I mean, it's going to stand out really nicely, and I might even do a tiny little bit of blending on it just to kind of help fade it out. Possibly. I don't know. I might actually like the way that it kind of sticks out right now. But maybe I'll do a tiny little bit of blending and just see what it does. And just see kind of like how harsh it might be. See like how far out I can make this. That way it can stand out just a little bit. Here we go. Very nice, very nice. Make sure I try and keep the shape of the flames as much as I can. Because when it's zoomed out, it's not going to, I mean, now they still look like flames. Although I do want to increase that one a little bit. There we go. Yeah. Those are some nice little details on it. I like how the, excuse me, how the outline actually kind of makes it fade a little bit. And there's the train. Right on time. The train usually comes around when I'm streaming. Maybe I should choose a different time of streaming. Nah. That's fine. Alright, let's see here. There we go. Bink. Alright, so once I get these done, I'll take a look at it and then decide if I want to add, I say, some more fiery colors. Okay. There we go. And one more. Oop. Oops. Let's redo that one so I can keep it as slim as I can for that flame. There we go. Got it. Alright, so now let's go ahead and see what this butterfly looks like with those little wingtips. There we go. Very nice. So yeah, what I might end up doing... Did I color this in the wrong one? It looks like I kind of did, huh? I think I did. Alright, well, oops. Probably because I didn't have it turned around, so let's turn it around here. Yeah, I may have colored it from the top down instead of this way. There we go. Now we got it. Okay. And get rid of that little piece under it. There we go. Okay. That's better. Now then. Alright, so since we've got that, as promised, I'm going to come over here to my blend tool and then see what would happen if I did a little bit of this. Kind of gives a little bit of an aura around it, huh? So I think I actually like that. So we're going to just very carefully give it a blend. I'm just doing tiny little circles, so I'm not going in like any particular direction. That way I can still keep a little bit of the definition of it. This one probably doesn't need a whole lot. There we go. Little itty bitty tiny circles just around the little harsh edges. There we go. Nice. Okay. And then what I can do as promised is I will little circles. And I need to do it in tiny little circles. Alright. Bring this guy down. Oh gosh. And if I could just add maybe some of these tiny, tiny little... This might help also to add a little bit of an outline to it. Might help make them stick out just a little bit more, I think. It kind of reminds me of like pixelated fire, like old 8-bit games where the fire just looks so pixelated. It's kind of what it reminds me of. I bet if I add like a little bit of like pixels of orange in there too, I can make it look like maybe like a Mario torch fire or something. Which is actually okay, because from a distance, you can kind of see a little bit of that definition in there. And I am fine with that. There we go. Perfect. All right, and then this one here might be a little bit more tricky to get the pattern in that one, since it's so close to the so close to the outlines. There we go. I could even add like little fringes that kind of come off the edge there as well. There we go. Beautiful. Pink and pink. There we go. That doesn't look too shabby. Alright, where's a nice orange? I might try that with an orange as well. But my difference is, oh my gosh, the orange is going to be so faded out. I may not be able to add it with orange, because I don't think I can get an orange bright enough for it. About white. I mean, with a white, I could technically make a little bit in here. Oh my goodness gracious, that is so subtle. I'll probably maybe skip out on the extra little details in there, so. Alright. Now then, I think I'm going to add another, maybe a bright red right here. Alright, let's add it probably on top of this one. Alright, here we go. So now it's pretty much just like small details. Just a little, whoops. A little bit of adding. I'll go ahead and save it. Let's see. I think I'm going to want this red maybe just along the edge of where the dark red ends. And see what I can do with that. Boop. Here we go. Nice. And just kind of bring it up right about to the edge of the dark red. There we go. Very nice. That kind of makes the yellow stand out a little bit more. Pink. Oops, not that far down. There we go. Okay, pink. And up just a little bit. There we go. All the way around. There we go. Okay. Very nice. Very nice on those. Okay. And then let's see here. I think I'm going to actually add another layer up on top. Oops, I think I did two of them. It's alright. Yeah, that's fine. And then I want to go, oops, kind of almost all the way white. I'm going to add just a tiny little bit of a bright center right here. It might blend in a little bit too much with the, Oh no, it won't. It'll actually get right to the edge of it. There we go. Perfect. There we go. Alright, so now my little circles right here, I am going to maybe bring in some more, maybe make these kind of like a bright red with maybe some of that blue mixed in. What do you guys think? Kind of like make this little effect all around in this. I think we can probably get away with that. There we go. We'll have to keep adding layers probably on top of this one though. So let's add maybe this dark blue, and let's just kind of see what we can do. I don't really know yet. If anything, I could possibly even just scrap it in the end. Here we go. But I think it's doing okay. I'll bring this kind of like, maybe not quite that far. Maybe about there. Okay. Very good. And then one underneath it for the bright blue here. Here we go. And just kind of push it up to blend in with that one. Just a tiny little bit less. There we go. Oh man. It almost looks like a little tie-dye color there as well. Nice. And then finally, layer probably underneath of this bright little white, just as the base color, or the color near the bottom. Here we go. There we go. Nice. And the red should be, where's the red? There's the red. So I want one underneath the red, and I want to make it this nice bright yellow. There we go. I'll probably bring that yellow down just a little bit. There we go. And very carefully smudge it up towards the top and fade it out. There we go. Alright, perfect. Now let's see if we can do the exact same thing down here with this one. So, okay, so this one here is the red, so we're going to try to use the same layers as well. Alright, so, same thing. Start out with the red, smudge it up. Oh, this is going to be a little bit harder to see. That's okay. And then this one is the light. This one is the dark blue. Pink. There we go. And to this one here. And it, oops, it is actually not underneath the one that I want. So I gotta go back to it. No, it should be, oh no, you're right. It's on top. It's on top of the red. I thought it was underneath for some reason. But no, it was on top. So I was slightly confused. Pink. Here we go. A little bit less. There we go. Okay, I think that could probably work. And then the light blue right there. Put it underneath its dark blue counterpart. There we go. And And then of course finally this white. Dink. And oops. And to fill in this little base right here. Perfect. And then the yellow underneath everything, which would be near the top here. There we go. Bam. Okay, we pretty much made two of these about the same. I can fade it out just a little bit more, make sure it doesn't come up and over the edge. There we go. All right. For these other little dots right here, let's see. For those, I think I am going to maybe go a little bit crazy with these. Let's see what I can do to make these stand out. I mean, you know, not like bright yellow doesn't stand out already. And just to keep them all even, I'm going to do them all at the same time. Oh, freebie! Okay, fine, I'm hydrating. You probably scared me. There. Hydration is happening. Thanks. I forgot I had my sound turned up a little bit in my headphones, probably a little bit too loud than what I should hear. Alright, so we've got yellow. Let's put a little bit of orange on top of these as well and see if we can't fade in maybe a little bit of orange or blend it in. I don't really have a plan for these here, so we're just kind of going to go with whatever happens here. And then, why the flip not? We'll throw a little bit of red on top as well. There we go. There. And same thing with that. I'll blend it up just a little bit. There we go. They're almost like little mini suns now. There we go. I could work with that. Alright, so, wow. That is a very sharp looking fiery butterfly. I like the blues in there too. Went a little bit, maybe a little bit crazy with the blues. What would happen if we do this? Oh, here we go. We can just fade those out just a little bit. There we go. What do you think? Fade it out a little bit or just blue? Kind of like the faded out little look on it there. I think we can probably work with that. That way it's just not quite as prominent in these areas. So now I've got to remember what I used for my fluorescence here, because I actually really like that, and I think maybe a yellow or orange, probably yellow fluorescence might actually look pretty good. So let's see what we can find here. You guys can now see all of the brushes that I actually have now. So let's see here. I forgot which one I had used for it. I think maybe it was this one, perhaps. Let's find out. Let's add a layer, and then holy moly, it does not need to be that big. Yep, I believe that is the fluorescence that I was looking for. So I don't want it to be too strong. Here we go. Just a little bit around, especially around the dark red of the wings. That's probably where you'll see it the most. There we go. There it goes. There. Now it kind of gives it that little speckled look to it. I think I can work with that. What happens if we would also throw in a little bit of the yellow? That'll also help break it up a little bit as well. So I think a little bit of red and a little bit of this yellow will go a long way. All right. Very nice, very nice. Wow, we got this guy done pretty much within the hour's time. I am very happy with that. So now what would be next is going to be the background, and because I already have all of these layers on my butterfly, I can just minimize them, and then I'll come over here to my background, and you guys will be able to watch as I create a gradient. So a gradient has its initial start point here and then a stop point. And so I don't want to do that. I think I'm going to want to do, okay, add. Here we go. Okay. So now, I mean, it's already got a couple colors that I like, so I'm just going to come in and add a few. Whoops. Well, that's probably a little too many. I don't need that many. There we go. Okay. Okay, so now I gotta figure out which way it's going to go. So in the meantime, what I'll probably do here is, whoopsies, is I'm probably going to do, maybe just like an orange and a black, because, or an orange and a red, because I'm curious to see, whoops. I always forget that I need to just add new names to it. Fire. Let's call it fire. Okay. Okay, so with the gradient, it's radial, so what is going to be the stop point, and which one's going to be the, oh my goodness gracious. Alright, so it looks like the yellow, whoops, opacity, that's why. Whoops. Hide you. Yep, opacity. Holy moly, that's bright. Sorry about that. Okay, so it says the yellow is going to be the, the yellow is going to be the center part. Okay, so it's going to start here and go that way in a radial menu. So now that we know that, I don't think I want it to be bright yellow. Let's dull it down a bit, shall we? Let's make it, maybe to make it stand out, we'll start with a really light blue. And then maybe go into a, let's see here. See, I can kind of preview it right here as I go through the different colors. So if we want it like that nice light color and fade it into, usually into a yellow would look pretty good. Oops. And we can say okay, and we can bring it out just a little bit to really help make it fade outward. And then maybe a nice, I mean, an orange right there isn't too bad. Maybe how about closer to a red? There we go. Oh my goodness gracious. Shush. All right. And then this, I want it to be a nice dark color. And I want that to be a little bit more prominent, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of bring these out like this. Here we go. There we go. Alright, well, let's give that a try, shall we? See if I can find where center mostly is. Oh my goodness gracious, it's so bright. What it'll look like with my butterfly on there, I wonder. Ooh, okay. Okay. That actually doesn't look too bad. It's nice and bright, brings out the butterfly's colors quite a bit, and doesn't like over exaggerate it too much. There we go. Make it really nice and straight, and then we're going to cut out this piece, cut to a new layer, and then just get rid of that so that we don't have all that random stuff. Here we go. Aha, beautiful. Very beautiful. So now I put my drawing gloves back on, since I usually do the gradients and those with my with my mouse. Okay, so now say bye-bye to the butterfly for a moment. Let's see what kind of effects we might be able to throw in here. So it's kind of curious, what other effects do we have here, just out of curiosity? Let's try that. Oops. And over here. And go away. Okay. Ho 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 ho. I don't know what I just did, but that actually looks kind of cool. Not gonna lie. Okay, however, I think I'm gonna change its color. What if I were to change it to this? Okay. Red. Well, and put butterfly on. Well, let's fade it out just a little bit so it's not quite as in your face. I do like that. Kind of does give it a little bit of a fiery effect, doesn't it? Alright, that is kind of interesting. If we were to do it in smaller pieces as well around the edge. Here we go. Okay, now that is very interesting. And then further out on the edges some more. Here we go. Okay, that is pretty gosh darn good. I think what I'm going to do also is I am going to say probably goodbye to that layer for a moment, goodbye to that layer for just a moment, and I am going to kind of make a little round circle here, and then we're going to go crazy with this guy again. The size will be up a little bit more so that I can just give this a little push out. Maybe not too much. Hold on. Maybe size down just a little bit. That way I can control some of the peaks here. Okay, I'm going to have to rotate as I go on this one. Here we go. Very nice, very nice. Trying to keep it in the center as much as I can. Which I might actually have to grab it and... No, actually it's pretty center, isn't it? Let's check the butterfly. Okay. If I can just push this a little bit out further, not too much. I think I'm gonna have to move it. Okay, so what I can do is, oops, let me bring this back around here. There we go. And I'm just gonna grab it. Oops, not that one. I need, this one right here. Here we go. So see here, I can actually just kind of move it to where I think it's a little bit in the center. There we go. Okay. Okay. And now, no more selection. Thank you. There we go. And then I can go ahead and maybe push this one out just a little bit. There we go. All right. Oh, and then I need to add back in that. Oh, there we go. So you can barely see the little blue underneath, which is okay, kind of what I wanted. Very good, very good. All right. I think the last thing I might be able to do is just add a tinge of red around this area as well. So let's go with this nice, beautiful, bright red. Go with this. And circle around this blue. Oops. There we go. All right. And then can go crazy with this. Here we go. Nice. There we go. Bloop. Boop. 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 There we go. I am greatly enjoying how this fire butterfly is coming out. That is very pretty. Boop and boop. There we go. Ah, look at that. That's gorgeous. All right. That one I am very happy with. So, all right. So there is our fire butterfly. Looks like it is completed. Nope. I am going to not do that. I'm going to click that button to save it. There we go. Perfect. Ah, gorgeous. Look at how much of a contrast it is compared to the earth and even the air. And then next or last is going to be our water butterfly. So it's going to be like a really nice like watery blues. I have a few effects here that I want to try out on it, like this one right here for like water effect. So that's going to be exciting. So I think that pretty much concludes this week's Artsy Thursday with the completion of our beautiful fire butterfly here. Gonna do a butterfly that's like the avatar? I don't know, maybe. Well, have I added this? Here we go. I'll add a fiery water around it. Nah. Alright then. There we go. Alright, so I hope everybody has enjoyed, just kind of chill with some beautiful artwork. And I hope to see you all next time on Artsy Thursday with our elemental butterflies. We are going to be completing our little collage here, and then after that I have some other plans. I want to stick with butterfly themes because I'm a little obsessed with butterflies. So I don't know if you guys can tell or not, but I'll probably do some roulettes, I guess it would be. I'll have like a wheel where I spin to find out how many colors it's going to be, what colors I'm going to do on it. That's going to be so much fun. So thank you everybody, and I hope you all have an awesome rest of your night and an awesome Friday tomorrow.